Greetings and welcome to the Art of Rising. You know, we're all about rising your vibration, rising your status, rising your mental state. And we're always on the outlook for a great guest, and we have one right here. He has a fascinating bio and some of the things that he's into. Just take a listen and see what he's all about. But before we do that, I did want to mention that we're having a men's retreat that's coming up. It's the Wind Horse Rising Experience, and it's a men's retreat, and it's for a weekend, and it's taking place in May 23, 24, 25. If you stay to the end of the podcast, man, we have something really nice and juicy for you, man. So stick around. So, brother, tell us, what's your name? Where do you live? What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm Patrick Boylan. I am a co-founder of the app called MuseFlow. We're teaching music in a very different way. Flow state and using sight reading as the kind of engine of the curriculum. Totally turning it on its head. And, you know, we can talk about how we're doing that and everything like that. But yeah, doing that, having a great time doing it. I'm really enjoying myself out here in LA. And my co-founders are everywhere. They're kind of all around the world right now, which is kind of cool.
That's great. Yeah. Now it's a global society, right? It just,
totally.
Some guy was with us. He's still with us too, and he was like, "Oh man, you know, I'm moving so far, like in another country. I don't know if I could be with you guys anymore." I was like, "Dude, we do it online, like, you know." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right." You know,
right.
Like, that don't stop. Yeah, let's just keep it going.
Yeah, cool.
So
cool.
Why don't you tell us, you know, where you're from originally and how was it growing up and some of those good tidbits.
Yeah, born and raised in Chicago. To a dad who was an actor, mom who was in news. And so my dad raised us during the day, and then, you know, we went off to his dinner theater in the evenings, and then my mom came and picked us up, and they weren't divorced at the time. That was just how they did it. And, you know, come right around like 8 years old, I was like, what? I want to learn how to play piano. We had this beat up old piano in our living room, right? It was from this family friend who played at a piano bar, and we inherited that piano. And I love the guy, Joe Krieger. Shout out to that guy. He's still playing piano in Chicago. And so I was like, I want lessons. And my parents were like, you know, it's a lifelong hobby, Pat. And I was like, yeah, totally. Let's do it. I love lifelong hobbies. Like I knew what lifelong hobbies were when I was 8 years old. Right. And so I got into it. I immediately hated it. I didn't enjoy lessons at all. Because the way they were taught, did you ever take lessons? Did you ever take music lessons?
I have not, but my wife has. And she was brought up in a Catholic school. So, you know, one of the nuns, you know, with the ruler right there. And
totally,
you know.
Yeah. So
tell us.
She probably did the exact same thing that I never got the corporal punishment, but we had a similar way of doing it. Like your teacher gives you a new skill or a note, a new rhythm, whatever it may be, and then gives you a song or two to go home and practice that and repeat it over and over and over. And then the next week you have to come and you have to play it for them perfectly. Otherwise, they slap you on the wrist and say, no, go back home and do it again. And you have to repeat that same song over and over and over until you get it perfect. Not fun. Not fun. By the end of that, you're learning it by rote. You know, you're not like learning the fundamental skills to be able to learn how to play to play piano. No, you're just learning each individual song. That's the problem with traditional learning when it comes to music. You learn these songs, but you're not learning the like core principles that you need to actually be able to play as a professional. Right. Like 8 years of that, and I hated it. And so my parents had to ground me because I wasn't practicing. You know, they're like, you got yourself into this. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Anyway, I then, after 8 years, my teacher retired. No fault of my own. He just retired. I was a terrible student, but he retired. And then I started going back to my parents' sheet music. They had a bunch of scores, musical theater scores, you know? And so I was like, okay, cool. I started going through them. And I found little tidbits that I really loved, little patterns, whether that's a melody or a rhythmic pattern that I really enjoyed. And I just started playing that over and over and over. And I closed the music. And then I started improvising around that phrase, creating something from it. I put it in my right hand. I put it in my left hand. I inverted it. I really put it in all these different musical contexts. And I really had a great time doing it. And I was like, that was really fun. And so I kept doing that for years. Cut to college, I was the only acting major that could play piano. And all these musical theater students were coming up to me being like, Pat, can we rehearse this song? I want to play it. I want to sing it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's going on. And so we get the music in front of me and I start going and they start singing. And lo and behold, I could play that song at first sight. I had never seen that song in my life and I could play it at first sight.
Wow.
And I could do that with so many songs. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, why can I sight read all this stuff? And I realized that what I was doing with those bite-sized chunks for years and putting it in the context of all these musical contexts that I was improvising around, I was realizing I was learning the fundamental building blocks of musical theater. And when I saw another song that used those fundamental building blocks inside of it, I was able to play it. And so it was very adjustable, very adaptable. And so here I am, a professional pianist in LA. I got 3-4 places I play at, and I played a bunch of different gigs around town. I was bored one day and I was like, maybe there's a way, if I can be a professional, maybe there's a way to like teach people the way that I taught myself how to play. Because the skills that I taught myself are very applicable to being a professional pianist. You got to be able to sight read. You got to be adaptable. You got to just go and not mess up a singer, you know? All of that being said is like, that's what MuseFlow ultimately is. And instead of improvisation as the engine of my curriculum, of our curriculum, we use sight reading, the act of reading music at first sight. We give you music that you've never seen before, that never repeats, at a very specific level that exercises a very specific skill. And you just go. We've gamified it. You got to get 4 phrases in a row at 90% accuracy to pass that level.
Oh my
And
goodness.
there you go. You do it. You just keep going. And then songs get unlocked once you pass that level. So with the advent of technology, we're now able to teach ourselves this way. So we're just adding another step before repertoire, before songs.
That's amazing. It makes me think of Tito Puente had said, yeah, one of the reasons why I do music really well is because I know how to read music. And, you know, you'd probably be surprised how many people who do music that you would think like, wow, he's great and all that, but he doesn't know enough to really read music in the way he should, you know.
And that's okay.
Like that.
That is totally fine. But when it comes to being a professional and when it comes to being adaptable and like getting the most out of your musicianship and being even a hobbyist, in my opinion, unless you are like really, really good at listening by ear and then playing it, great. That's an amazing skill to have. And you should definitely keep going with that. Like the guy from Coldplay. I forgot his name, but he can't, Chris Martin or something. He can't read music, but he writes incredible tunes. He's an incredible songsmith.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
So you're like, you can, of course, be a pro, but generally speaking, we use Western notation as the way to convey an idea to the performer. We use written sheet music. And so, in my opinion, if you want to be a pro, you should be able to read sheet music.
Right. Well, that's great. I can see that you've accomplished quite a bit, and it took you a while to get to this point. But why don't you tell us a little bit about, you know, when you were coming up in Chicago and, you know, your upbringing and those types of challenges, trying to find your way and who you are and those type of things?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I grew up in the shadow of my sister. She was, you know, older than me. She's 2 years older than me. And so I always just followed in her footsteps. It wasn't all that bad, but we had a lot of contention. There was a lot when we were younger. She wasn't a fan of me and I wasn't a fan of her. And I kept following her around and being the annoying little brother. And like, we just got on each other's nerves constantly so much. Right. And so I hated her. Like she hated me. We did not like each other. And then there was one day when I just like came up to her and I felt like I needed her. I needed her in my life, right? And I said to her straight on, can we just start over? Can we just forget about everything? That all of our history, can we just start over from this moment? And she looks at me I remember the moment. It was in the kitchen. She had a yogurt. I had a banana.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just standing there in this corner. And she says, yes, we can. And we hug. And like our relationship has been significantly better ever since. I just went back home this past week to see my first nephew for the first time.
That's beautiful.
And
in Chicago.
In Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like, it's such an incredible experience. You know, seeing my sister with her first child and getting to hold that baby. My God. I've never done it before. I've never been an uncle before. This is my first time. And so like, what an experience to experience with a sister that you really love, you know, so turned out to be all good. But yeah, that was 100% hurdle that we had to overcome.
Wow.
And it took just starting over, you know.
Life is beautiful, man, when you're paying attention to it. I mean, you know, for too long, I was walking around in a coma, you know, but once I started seeing things and, you know, like lifted the veil, you know, and started paying attention to what's going on. And like, wow, man, this place is beautiful, man. It's like one big playground. Like you could just do whatever you want. Like, you know, you could do whatever you want, really.
You really can.
I'm sure you see that like in the acting business as well. Like there's people who just go for something, man, and just go ahead and just go and just do it.
Yeah. I find like, so I moved out to LA to be an actor, and I did that for 6 years. Ups and downs, having a day job and having to like go to a restaurant and wait tables and then go to an audition. It was rough. I was not being creatively fulfilled, you know, because the gaps between the jobs were just too wide for me to feel like I had any sort of creative sustainment and also financially. So at the end of that, I was super burnt out, you know, super burnt out. But yeah, you're not wrong. You see a lot of people, you really got to like pave your own way as an artist. And you also have to pave your own way as an entrepreneur, I think. It's kind of the same thing. It's the same skill set in a way. And I'm utilizing my actor skill set is wild, right? I'm using my like artist skill set to create, to now create a product with as a collaboration with other people. It's kind of the same deal, you know?
Yeah, life is incredible, man. But acting in itself, because I've done some acting myself. And a quick story: when I was about in the 4th grade, I was able to read for the part of Christopher Columbus. And I beat out some other kid, you know, he was dry, you know, like cardboard, but I bring flavor to the character, you know, and they told me, you're the guy, you're Christopher Columbus. Great. So here it goes, man. Big night, go there. All the parents are there except mine. And I get on stage, brother, and I forgot my lines, man. Like I froze. I tried to get some out, but it just didn't flow. And I just froze. And then when we went back to the classroom, the teacher pulled me outside and she berated me, man. She really got on top of me. Bro. She made a mistake.
Fourth
that's
grade.
all it was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like
you berate a 4th grader?
Yeah, like it was the Oscars. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It was the Emmys, that were taking place that night, you know. So yeah, it was tough, man. Yeah, and then you see all the kids, like, you know, they're talking, you know, and you know that they're talking about you and they're staring, and then, you know, they kind of ostracize you and those type of things. But you know, something in my head always told me, you're better than that. You can do better than that. You're bigger than this, you know. And I just kept moving after that. Eventually, I ended up having my own drama group, and I toured with another one as well called Faces. We went to like it was improv. And we went to after school centers, senior citizens, teen pregnancy centers, those type of things, you know, with those types of issues that we would create. And
very cool. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So as you can see, like I'm extrovert.
Yeah, totally. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very just part of that. My old man was into that too. He was very colorful, and I always seen him like in, you know, productions and plays. And stuff like that.
You got that in your family as well. Fantastic.
For sure. But I could see that, as you were coming up in LA, waiting tables and stuff like that, there had to have been a time when you were like, man, I just can't do this no more, and what made you continue?
Well, it was my wife. He, after 6 years of doing it, it was rough. I was super depressed and I was really in a pit. And I was like heading off to go do my waiting tables job. And I just turned to her and I'm like, I came out here and I said I was going to give myself 5 years. I was like, going to give myself 5. It's now 6. I think I'm done. And she says, Pat, well, why don't you go play piano? You've been doing it your entire life. Why don't you go play piano? And I'm like, Wesley, it's like too close to my heart. It's like inside of me. And I don't want to bastardize my love for piano and playing by like making it my job. And the irony of this, I understand in retrospect, because here I am as an actor, right? Literally putting my heart on my sleeve every single day, going to auditions and getting told no, and then going to more auditions, getting told no, and doing my day job. I am there emotionally right there on the face, putting my heart on the line with a love that I absolutely love to my heart, right? Acting. And so she tells me, she's like, Pat, what are you doing? You're an actor. And she berates me. She does. She's like, you're an actor. You put your heart on your sleeve every day. Go and try to just be a pianist. Go. And if you hate it, you hate it. But at least you tried. Okay. And I'm like, fine, Wesley, stop yelling at me. I'll go try. I'll try. Okay. And then I left for my serving job. Right. And so on the way there, I ended up calling a friend who was an accompanist. His name is Anthony. And I call him up and I'm like, hey, so I kind of want to try the piano thing. And he's like, great. And I'm like, do you know of anything? And he's like, no, but I'll keep you in mind. And so I was like, amazing. Literally the next day he texts me. He's like, hey, they're having auditions for accompanists over at California School of the Arts. You should go and apply. And I said, okay. And he's like, I'll be your reference. And I'm like, amazing. And so I went and I auditioned to be that accompanist and I got the job. And that was a part-time gig. That was the first one that I had. And then I started doing auditions around town. I started playing for musical auditions. I knew a bunch of theaters around town and I knew a bunch of music directors around town already. And so I like messaged all of them because I had a little bit of gumption in my body. And I was like, I might be able to do this. Right. And then I was like, maybe there's a way. And so I email all of them and they're like, yeah, like 2 of them immediately were like, yeah, we're holding auditions this week. Like, can you come on in and play? We need a pianist. Right. And I was like, yeah, totally. And so I did. And I came on in and I did a good job because I can sight read. And everything kind of just fell into place. 3 months later, I was making a living off of playing piano.
Oh my goodness. That's so like, beautiful.
You know it when it's real. You know it when it's like, when it's that fast and it clicks like that, you're like, oh, I'm doing something right. Right. But yeah, man, that was a pivotal moment in my life when I decided to switch from being an actor to being a pianist. I still act. I still have my agents, and they send me out to do stuff. I'm a voice actor, and I'm an actor. Still do TV and stage. And whatnot.
You have a great voice. Yeah, I like your voice.
I love your voice. You got a great.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, what about this mind shift that took place? Was there like some moment? Was it right around that time? Was it something that your wife said? Was it like you were there in the audition, you were like, fuck, I'm doing this? Or was it like a series of things that helped you to mind shift and to overcome these adversities?
I think the depression was pretty quickly cured. Or I just kind of embraced it. And I was like, it's fine. You don't like, you're going to be, the problem is that I wasn't being creatively fulfilled. I had all of these gaps between jobs and it's just like my self-confidence just like plummeted every time. Like weeks go by and you're not booking a job, but you're going on 3 to 4 auditions a day. It's the worst. It's the utter worst, right? And so like my audition ratio needed to go up. It just needed to go up if I was going to feel any sort of self-confidence and happiness and creative fulfillment with acting, right? And so I supplemented that with piano after my wife berated me and told me, you got to go do it. And like, thank God for her, honestly. Like,
Thank God for her. Yes.
I say like, hey, thank you for berating me, you know?
That's right.
Calling me a little bitch and like,
right.
Like Wesley,
stop
yelling at me.
Oh my God. Sometimes
it was good. I needed that. I really needed that.
Yeah. So sometimes I wish my wife would give me some of that too. And she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. She's just so sweet. So sweet. I'm like, sometimes I need a kick in the ass too, you know, but that's okay because life got plenty of pointy boots for everybody around here. So
oh, that's great. Life has a bunch of pointy boots for everybody.
Yeah. Let's go make some t-shirts, some hats, man. Let's do it, me and you.
Life's a bunch of pointy boots.
So now your personal life, it seemed to have impacted your business growth, you know, and now you're doing these things. That was live theater, correct?
Yeah, theater, film, and TV, and commercials. All the
and recording and all that too. Wow, that's fascinating, right? So now there's this bunch of other obstacles now too, because you're kind of like, okay, now I'm making money, but then there's like a learning curve, right? Because you probably do like for me, I know, like I've been to some jobs, you know, standing there with my hands on my hips, you know, my chest out, like I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, no,
but I faked it, you know.
You got to fake it, right? Like every day is a challenge when you're a freelancer, and you're kind of building your own career and building your own way, paving your own way. Every day is a challenge. You got to be hustling for the next paycheck, and it's very uncertain. Don't get me wrong, but you got to believe in yourself. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes delusionally so. You know, my wife says Delulu is the Salulu. And I'm like, that's freaking brilliant. Yep. Couldn't agree more, honestly, because like it's the same with like any creative job that you want. Delulu is the solution. You got to delusionally believe that you're the solution, or you got to delusionally believe that delusion is the solution in a way to your like needing to manifest your movement forward. You got to delusionally believe in yourself.
I love that. Yeah, because I've experienced that myself too, where things are just coming along and I'm like, I'm gonna grind this out, man. I'm doing this. I don't care. Like I'm with it. And people are like, maybe you shouldn't. But I'm like, no, I'm on it. But then the little voice right in our head, we call it the roommate, right? It's the little voice in the back there saying, oh, maybe you shouldn't do this, bro. Like, are you good enough? You're not them. You know, you're good. I'll give you that, but you're not those guys, man. I don't think it might work. And then, you know, it's telling you like, turn back, you know, and you're like, no, I'm not turning back. You know, I'm going forward, you know.
You got to just not listen to it. I will fully admit this. I don't think you should stop. Like, I don't curb myself really. I let the world curb me. Which can be to my detriment. Sometimes I can get myself into sticky places and I don't really know what to do. But I unfortunately, to my benefit and to my detriment, I don't have that voice in the back of my head saying you're not good enough. Right. I don't. Right. When I'm told no, I double down. I do. And again, it can be to my detriment, but it can also be a superpower.
Right. Yes. Any obstacle that we get in front of us, like we really should be grateful for those things, you know, and never look at them as like, oh man, I got to eat a shit sandwich. It should be more like, hey, this is tasty. I'm learning here. I'm growing. You know?
Or find the silver lining. Like I got to eat a shit sandwich, but it's on really good bread.
That's right. Toasty, crunchy.
Toasty, crunchy, and a solid sourdough made that morning. Oh, that's good.
Yes. Yeah. I've been there so many times. Just recently, some things have changed in my life, and you know, I'm pursuing this thing that I know that I should be doing. See, because it's crazy. It's like, you know, you should be doing this thing, but you keep doing that other thing, you know. The universe has that funny way of bringing it up, No matter, you could ignore it, you could stuff it down, but it'll keep coming up.
Yeah.
It'll keep coming up, like that thing, like the music. You're like, nope, no.
It's inevitable. Like if you have that drive for creative expression,
Mm.
you have to feed it. Otherwise, you're gonna become very, very sad,
Oh,
very miserable.
yeah. Just recently, I was doing the what's the woman's name? Julia something there about the artist. The book about
Julia.
the art.
The Artist's Way.
The Artist's Way.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
think is it Julia Wilson or
Yeah,
something?
Julia, something like that. She's got this famous name, sounds like the actress, almost like Julia Roberts or something to that effect. I'll look it up. But man, she hit it right on the button, man. She got it. Like that book is like, so
Totally.
good. She talks
I'm
about that
I'm
thing
obsessed.
inside.
Oh,
Mhm.
Julia Cameron. That's her name.
Cameron. I was thinking of Cameron Diaz. Right.
Yeah. Or like James Cameron.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Uh,
wow. She hit it right on the nail,
She
bro.
did. She's really good. And I think there was also something that I took from that book. I did the Artist's Way. Did you do the Artist's Way?
I have. I didn't finish it. It's still just recently I started it, and I kind of
Cool.
like I was doing the writing every day. It would take me about 20 minutes to
Yep.
write the 3 pages of hand, but I would take myself on the date, but myself and other things too.
Yeah.
And the questions and the pie like the, oh yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's really, really great. The one thing that I kind of like learned from that is you kind of have to like drill down into your creativity. If you're not doing it at all, then it's going to be so hard to tap into that. You got to
Mhm.
just go dig a little deeper every single time, dig a little deeper until you hit that stream of creativity underneath, and then build the well so that it's just so easy to tap into it. And that's what she kind of that's what she gave me. She gave that
Mm.
you got to do it for like 3 months straight.
Right.
And you've got to go every single day. And every single day for me was, I'm just digging that well a little deeper,
Right.
and then I'm
Right.
fortifying that well so that when I want to tap into that creativity, all I need to do is just drop a bucket. That's all I
Wow.
need to do and pull it back up,
I missed there.
And so
Wow.
here I am. I'm exercising my creativity every day. I'm lucky and honored to be able to do that, playing piano and then also building this app. It's like I'm exercising that creativity every day. It's easier for me to tap into that because I've been doing it for so long.
Right. And I do want to hear more about the music and dive into that. But before we do that, I'd like to know, what about any mentors, coming up, an uncle, a friend, a neighbor, or perhaps also some books. Books are a great thing too. So anything like this?
I didn't have a lot of mentors when it came to acting, or I had maybe that was a problem, honestly. Like I didn't have anybody to help me along the way or coach me or guide me along the way. I had acting teachers, but they're narcissistic and they have a God complex and they
Right.
need you to like bow down to them, and they become a cult, and it's unfortunate, but that is the mentality of a lot of acting coaches. They create that aura of like godlike status, and the inspiration comes from them. It's just like, it's toxic. I'm not a fan. Though
Right.
there have been many, many, many coaches that I've had that have been fantastic. So not to fault all of them. There are some really great gems in there.
Right.
My mentor when it came to piano is my family friend from home, Joe
Right.
Krieger.
Right. Joe.
The
Shout out to
the
Joe.
dude does what I do. He plays jazz at restaurants, and he does singing, and he sings and plays at the same time at a bunch of different places around Chicago. And he has residencies at different restaurants and different piano bars where he does that. He's been doing that for like 40, 50 years. And he's amazing. He's an amazing artist. But he's a working class guy. He's a working class artist. He's not making millions.
Right.
He's doing church gigs and accompanist gigs and playing around town at different restaurants that he has the regular gigs at. And you're like,
He's
it's a
doing it.
He's doing it. He's doing it, but it's like a working class thing, you know? And that's
Right.
where I'm at. You know, I play jazz at 2 different restaurants around LA, and I got my piano bar that I play at every weekend.
Right.
And
That's
so you're
great.
like, I've got my regular gigs, and I've
Right.
also got the other ones that kind of pad that, you know?
Creative,
So
right.
I'm being
Yeah.
creative every day, and he was such an inspiration when it came to that. Now, when
That's
it comes
great.
to entrepreneurial work and the app and everything, I do have a couple mentors in that space. So I feel like every career I've had, I've kind of been like, I want mentors. I want mentors. I want mentors. And then like, here I am in the entrepreneurial world, and like, I've got 2.
Right.
One of them is an uncle from my stepmother. It's her nephew or something like that. So I don't even know what he is, but the dude's an amazing businessman. Like, I don't even know how he's related to me. My nephew of my stepmom. What is that? Do you know?
No, I don't. I don't. Just family. That's
Family,
family.
man,
Yeah, but what family? Just family. That's all I said. Family.
Family. Yeah.
Think it like that. Yeah.
He's a great businessman, very successful. I come to him with questions about like cap tables and like, you know, investments and like proving my worth to people, because I am the soft skill person in the group. And a lot of my co-founders have a lot of hard skills. And so it's kind of difficult for me to argue my value with people that frame it in terms of actual accountable things that you've built. Does that make sense? When you're trying to like argue one's value and argue how much percentage of the company you should own, how much stock you should have in the company that you literally created from your own way of building and playing piano, when you're talking with your co-founders about that and they're attacking your personal worth, that is one of the hardest things that I've ever come across. I'm telling you, man.
Wow.
Like, it got
It's
under my
like shit sandwich on steroids.
Shit sandwich on stale bread, let me tell you. You know? Like, bad.
Moldy bread. Yeah.
Moldy.
The bread's not even good.
It's a brick. Okay. It's just terrible. You can't even bite
no
into
water, no juice.
Nothing. No, you crack a tooth on it and you call it a day. So yeah, it's rough. That is, and like that was a hurdle that I had to go through with my co-founders. I kind of had to prove my worth to them. And so yeah, George has been amazing at helping me kind of verbalize what I bring to the table. Right. And then I also have my wife's uncle. His name is Tom. He's also an entrepreneur. He's built a couple companies in the past and sold a couple companies already. And like, he's great. He's helped me a lot with like the business strategy and business planning side of it all. And so, yeah, I'm really honored and lucky to have a couple mentors in that space.
Wow. So yeah, know your worth. That's great. Yep. And get that business plan too. And you know, it's not always easy to be under someone, especially in this country. And they don't teach us those things. Like it's you know, in the Eastern philosophy, you know, they're quick to go get a guru, you know, a sensei, a master right away. Over here, it's like, what? No, you're not over me. Like, what? And listen, it's about we do have to, you know, like you know, bow down a bit and just say, hey, yeah, you know, teach me. I need help, please.
Humble yourself. My God, you're not the God you're looking for. Okay. These aren't the droids you're looking for. You're not the God you're looking for. Okay. You got to find that aspiration and go towards that and be humbled by it. I think that's one of the biggest things that America does not teach you.
Right. You see, that's why here at the OMziel Healing Sanctuary, I had told you offline, we do men's retreats and we work with men. And we've been doing this for a number of years now. I mean, close to a decade now. So we help guys that, man, they walk around with things you couldn't imagine, brother. I mean, they in these circles and they were standing there, was sitting by the fire and, you know, sharing. And man, I always remember this one guy where he said, man, my wife doesn't even know this. And we were like, what? He loves her and he's got children with her too. And he just felt comfortable and safe enough to let that out. And it was just an honor, bro, you know, to help him to get rid of that guilt and that shame. That's why we're having the men's retreat that's coming now in May, man. So Yeah, anybody listening in, stay tuned to the end, man. You're gonna absolutely love it. It's much needed. And we just had our first international retreat last year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I took a group of men to the Dominican Republic and got a smoking place overlooking the ocean, crystal waters. We went hiking. We went to a waterfall. We went to the city of Santo Domingo and did some shopping. We ate in great restaurant. We smoked great cigars. Like,
Yeah, great.
yeah, man. But a lot of deep work too, man. A lot of tears and a lot of laughter. Oh my God, it was great, bro. We did 8 days. It was well worth it, bro. Well worth it.
That's really cool. I think there's something to having to be vulnerable that a lot of men are not taught.
Right.
And I think that is something that is so important. Being simply human, being open and honest. Otherwise, you're just going to bury, and then it's going to bury, and then it's going to come out in other ways.
Yeah.
And so to kind of like facilitate that is a beautiful thing, man. That's really great.
Yeah. Guys walking around wondering, man, why am I shooting dope every day? I just can't get rid of it. It's like, bro, that thing that happened to you when you were 8, you might want to talk about it. It's all right, and then it connects back with what we were talking about finding that person that you feel that they know more than you and they have more experience than you, and they can help you in some way. Just allow that, and many times I'm that person. I mean, I've had people help me too along the way. There wasn't too many mentors, and the ones that were around, they weren't good ones. I could tell you that. But
you gotta sift through the shit to like find the diamond in the rough.
Yeah. Perhaps there were some men that were telling me some things, but I didn't want to hear it anyway. At the time, I was like, I was too far into it. I was like, what? Do you hear something? Like it was just a buzzing noise, But Patrick, why don't you tell me about the music, man? I want to hear more about the project that you're doing and what music means to you on a deeper level and how it helps to shape your life around you.
Yeah, MuseFlow is really, really fun. I'm having a really great time building that with some friends, and it's already out there in the world. People can try it out. Go to the website and try it out. We've got the sight reading trainer that teaches you the fundamentals. It's really good. It's good for beginners. It's good for intermediates, and it's good for advanced. We teach you the techniques that are needed to play piano, all the way from this is a piano. Here's the first note that you're going to learn, middle C, play that. Good job. To, 14 notes and moving about the piano and polyphony, not like polyphonic, multiple notes at one time, polyphonic. So, we teach monophony, which is single notes at a time, and then polyphony, which is multiple notes at one time. And so we just incrementally build you up and get you into that sight reading trainer that gives you music that never repeats, that is infinitely generated at that very specific skill level. And you play it, you continue to go, let those errors roll off your shoulder. It's not failure. Let it just keep on going. If it's too hard, you lower the tempo and then incrementally build you up from there. If it's even too hard, or when you lower the tempo, go to an easier level. Don't even worry about it. So we soft unlock everything, meaning you can drop in wherever you want and you can find the skill that you want to learn at that moment. And then repertoire songs will then get soft unlocked after that. So you can go into the repertoire library and use any of the songs, play any of the songs, use all the tools that we've built so that you can play those songs over and over and over to your heart's content. The goal with MuseFlow is to get you to a place where you can technically play the instrument to a certain level of proficiency so that you can play that stuff at first sight, complicated music at first sight, so that by the time you get to a song that is comparable to that level, you can play it like that. We always want to get to those songs, right? We always want to get to those, play those songs, right? But like there's no step in between I want to play those songs and then playing those songs. There's nothing to kind of fill the gap in between there. So that's what we're doing. We're filling the gap in a very fun, engaging way and teaching you what's needed to play those songs so that by the time you get to playing those songs, you can play them within 4 times of playing it through,
Mm.
you play it perfectly. So then you can start making the decisions of like,
Mm.
why do I want to play those songs? What
Mm.
about that song makes it interesting to play? You know,
Mm.
I think at the end of the day, music is storytelling.
Mm. Mm.
And what stories do you want to tell with the music that's given to you? If the piece is called Frolic in the Forest,
Mm.
right? And I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. And it's
Yeah.
written like
Sounds like a good one.
and and it's written like boop, 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 boop. What about that means that it's frolicking? There's space in between those notes. Boop, 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 boop. Does that sound like frolicking to you? Maybe frolicking to you sounds like do, 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 do. Maybe that's what frolicking sounds like to you. You decide on how you want to play that piece and be intentional about it. Because at the end of the day, it's just a story that you're trying to tell. Somebody wrote
Right.
that on a piece of paper and you're interpreting that for an audience.
Right. And it's so fundamental, to many things. I mean, I can't say the ABCs, the alphabets without that little inflection, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because if I
Right,
say it
right.
like straight, after having 4 drinks and I was there in front of that officer, that's another podcast. That's
Say it
another
backwards.
life. Bro.
Say it backwards.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what do you? I can't even say it backwards sober.
I can't even say it straight when I'm straight. Wow. And
Yeah,
then
music is like, it's so fundamental, man. It is. It's been around humans. We've been creating it for 40,000 years. 50,000 years we've been creating music around a campfire with a drum, with a piece of skin strapped around a bucket.
Right.
And we bang that. Or we hear a bird call and we whistle that as well. Or we hum it or sing it. Music is so fundamental and has been around us and within us since the beginning of our creation as a species.
Right.
We have war songs, war songs, like war chants, get you invigorated to like go off and fight for your tribe, It's been so fundamental and integral to us as a species that it's a shame, in my opinion, that it's so difficult to learn how to play an instrument. It's so difficult to learn it. It's such a shame. So what we're trying to do is democratize it, make it easier to enter.
Sure. If you think about like even the music industry these days, it's like such trash, bro. You can't even remember the last hit song from last summer. Like when I was growing up, you remembered those songs, and even then, but now, now it's just like fast. It's fast. Everything's fast. Put the hit out. 1 week later, that's an old song. Let's go with the other new one. Like I don't even get time. Like it.
I'm like, music shouldn't be consumed. Music should be relished and enjoyed and pondered, not simply ingested. That's so clinical.
Right. It is. It makes me think of I believe it's the Mahabharata, which is like one long song. That's what that book is. It's like that's how they remembered it, bro, before they wrote it down.
Amazing.
It's just one long, they know the lyrics and everything to it.
Yeah.
And then I just learned recently also that, some ancient cultures in the small villages, they would give the baby a song, and the mother would sing the song to the child in the belly. And then when the baby was born, she would continue to sing that song, and that kid would learn that song and would know the meaning of the song, the melodies, and all of that. And including the people in the village would know that song is that kid right over there.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep. Fascinating, man. Fascinating.
I've also heard stories where like kids sing before they speak. I've also heard stories where it's like that too. And you're like, that's nuts, man.
It's the rhythm. Yeah, everything, as you know, it's vibration.
Yeah, it's
vibration. What is vibration? It's just one song. It's just the rhythm. You think of fractals, right? Fractals is that vibrational frequency That's why we have 5 fingers and 2 ears, and those,
So
and
wild,
the
right?
leaves come out. Yeah, it's just like the vibration, and everything is sound, you know, and that
Everything. It
vibration.
literally, it is sound. Like, what is a sound wave? A sound is a membrane being pushed and then and hit by something and then pushed outwards. And that pushing outwards creates a ripple effect of air
Mm,
that gets to our eardrums, and it goes straight on in and then vibrates our
mm.
eardrums, our
Wow.
eardrum. Right?
Wow.
It is
Wow.
literally a membrane that vibrates, and then our brain interprets those vibrations as
Mm,
sound,
mm.
right?
Right.
So literally all it is just pressure and release, pressure, release, pressure, release. It's just vibration. That's all it is.
Incredible. Incredible. You know,
Sound wave, it's literally a wave. Literally.
right. It's literally a wave. Incredible. And you know, with modern technology, they're catching up to ancient knowledge, right?
So wild, right? Yeah.
So now they can hear the vibrational tone of the earth. You know, when ancient people been talk about that, and then including now scientists also can hear that vibrational frequency of space too.
Mhm,
They
mhm.
know the frequency, they know everything, they hear those things. And the ancient people were like, yeah, of course, yeah, come on, we knew that a
Everything's
long time ago. What
vibration.
are
What are you talking
about?
about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, it's so fundamental, man. And
Yeah.
now, you know, the breakthroughs that they're making, I know with SARS, right? Is it SARS with the ground penetrating? It's just the vibrational where they get to see images that are deep in the ground.
Oh, cool. Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, I think it's
I
called
don't know if it's
SARS
called
or something
stars, but
like
like
that.
that's
No.
cool. That's really
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. It's these vibrational things that are happening now too. And then the breakthroughs that they're making with sound healing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, bro. Like, you know, I don't know if you've heard about all the bells that they've taken away, and you always find the bells that are gone or they're cracked. Is because at one time, bells and the vibration that it was giving off was healing people, man. Yeah,
Wild, man.
yeah, is what they say.
So crazy. Also, like, think about the idea that, like, well, we know, I don't know if you know music therapy. Um,
Mhm.
I was a music therapy major for a hot second in college.
Mm,
And then I realized I couldn't do theater. And so I
mm.
decided to move to sociology. But
Okay.
I was an acting major for a little bit. I didn't like the curriculum. And then a music therapy major for a little bit. Couldn't do acting. And then a sociology major. Anyway, yeah, that's literally all music is, right? Is
Mhm.
just vibrations. And and it is pretty wild that we can kind of feel the vibration of the earth and feel the vibration
Mm,
of
mm.
the space and everything like that. What were you okay, you were mentioning drilling down or something like that, or like SARS, is that what it is?
Yeah, I believe that's the name of it. It's a ground penetrating technology that they
So
have,
cool.
where they had recently located some of those cylinder shafts that are underneath the Great Pyramids. You know,
Oh,
which
right. I did hear about
like
this.
yeah, which this is another thing, Patrick. Like ancient people, they already knew about these things, and now they're like, oh my god, this is a technology. Like we've been trying to tell you that it's not a bear. They never found a mummy. There was never any glyphs on inside of those, you know, structures. You know, so they were not burial ground like they say it was Khufu's. Now it was not. No, it was, you know, for technology. There was water aquifer running underneath,
So
and
crazy.
that's with what was his name? Tesla was he did it here in Jersey. I think it was in Edison, New Jersey. He created a tower where the water was running underneath, and he was putting light bulbs right in the dirt, and they were shining, you know, like that. So
That's
they already know.
wild,
But that
man.
vibration is the one that they're seeing things, even in remote places like in the jungles, where they see temples and structures and villages, like just with the ground penetrating with those waves that you're talking about, you
Incredible,
know.
man. Yeah. You do a
Yeah.
lot with sound. It's pretty crazy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think of that documentary years ago that I had seen about elderly people that were in old folks' homes, and and some guy decided to give them all Walkmans, and people who were like, you know, stuck like that for like years, not saying nothing. Like once they got the music, like they lit up, man. it was a tearjerker, bro. I was like, wow, that's beautiful, bro.
It's one of those things that it works as Alzheimer's for some reason. It taps into the right brain. Memory is a fascinating thing because we don't really know where it lies in the brain. It's kind of a little everywhere. And so when we think about, an Alzheimer's patient and having their family and they haven't really had an opportunity to connect in years. And then somebody comes in and they play a Frank Sinatra tune and they light up and they say, "My Way. I loved that song. That reminds me of a and they are saying coherent words and they're actually speaking about their past. And like their daughter or their son is sitting off in the corner weeping because they're seeing their parent again, coherent. It's truly magical. And so it reminds them of a moment. And then they start singing My Way with the music therapist. You're like, damn, man, it's so cool. It's so cool what music can do.
Yes, and I love what you're doing. I saw the website, it gives you this free trial thing and it breaks down the steps and it's good for children as well as any age, according to what I'm seeing on the site.
Yeah, there's really no demographic that we're trying to attack here or like try to entice. It's anybody who's a self-learner, really. Somebody who wants to learn how to play music on their own, or teachers. We have 3 or 4 teachers that are using this right now that are using it as a sheer sight reading trainer, or they're using it as the engine of their curriculum. They say, go home and master levels 1 through 3, and then come into lesson and we'll work on the repertoire that gets unlocked. Yeah. And so it's this like, it changes the paradigm of the lesson. It makes it more engaging and effective. And like, you're there as their coach instead of their teacher. So some people are like outsourcing the teaching to MuseFlow. And then they're focusing on songs and musicianship in lesson. It's really, really cool to see.
It's exciting.
We have people that are 8 years old that are using this. We have people that are retired that are using this. It's like totally depends on the person. It's really quite incredible.
Super, super exciting. The website is right there. It's called MuseFlow.ai, and where people can find you also.
Yeah, you can go there. You can you'll find a little bit about me. You'll find a little bit about what we're doing, and how sight reading and flow state is kind of revolutionizing music education. It's just a completely different thought process when it comes to music education. So you can check out our blog there. You can find me anywhere. I'm everywhere. So you can find me on Google, Instagram, wherever. Shoot me an email.
IMDb. I saw you, man. So
that's me right there, man.
Yeah, you put in some work, bro. It's a lot.
Yeah,
did, bro. That's great. And that flow state, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, I read this amazing book. He has this whole thing about the flow genome, where professional athletes experience that. Where time is just like suspended. Like that's where humans should be. That's where you are in your creating, painting, clay or music, an instrument. Like you could just be playing the harp and then look at the time and be like, 8 hours went by,
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's because you're in that flow state.
You're in that flow. It's where time loses any meaning and you're dropped into the present of whatever you're doing. You are so engrossed in the process of doing that. Yeah, it kind of is a revolutionary sort of idea of like, how do we want to spend our time? I want to spend my time dropped into the present and challenged just a little bit. We call it the Goldilocks zone of challenge. And MuseFlow lets you find that for you. Lets you find where the challenge of the level meets your skill set. So you just want to be right outside of that, of your skill level. Every human needs a challenge, right? That is a fundamental part of flow state.
Much needed in these days, man, because it's just all these shiny objects are all over the place. Like we can't focus on anything. Like it's just it's terrible. They got us, but much needed. Thank you so much for your time, for your expertise and your conversation. I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, dude. Loved hanging out with you, and you got great energy, man. It's great.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm just gonna put you backstage for a minute while I close this up right here.
Sounds good.
Hang on. Okay. There you have it, guys. Check out my man Patrick. Look into what he's doing too. And if you stood to the end of the show, we just want to give you half off of some of the things that we're providing in the men's retreat will give you also perhaps 10% also. If you buy your ticket today, just hit me up. You can find us at OMziel, healingsanctuary.com. Until the next time, guys.